Well, so far, when I started with LinkedIn, I was like, hustling a lot for, getting engagement and other stuffs like that. But I'd like to ask you a question, like, what do you do to actually grow your network fast? Like, or what are the tips do you provide to, reach your target market faster or target people?
Honestly, I think the only answer there is you have to initiate the connection request. You can do content all day. You can do like automate profile views or whatever, but none of that is going to be even comparable to just sending, identify your target audience, make sure your profile matters to them so you have high acceptance rates, make sure your message matters, and then you just have to be proactive about it and just crank them out. It's the only way. Have you, and I'm guessing you've been doing that, yeah?
Yeah, I have been doing it. Yeah. I've been doing it. And lately I'm doing to some extent fine, to some extent. But still there is a lot to go. Lately I have reached just 6K followers over here on LinkedIn. And some of my posts are getting views, and I published a few videos. So yeah, those are also getting some views, but yeah, still struggling, but yeah, so just looking forward to it.
Yeah, also keep in mind with followers, actually, Alfred, remember you messaged me this like 2 months ago? Should I change the connect button to follow? Remember that?
Yeah.
So there's a account setting option that LinkedIn rolled out, and everyone was like, oh, this is awesome, but I feel like it was a little bit like a shiny object. You can change your blue call to action button from connect to follow. But what a lot of people, it depends on, should you do it? It kind of depends on what your strategies are on LinkedIn. So the reason why I'm bringing this up with what you just said was when you connect with someone, you automatically follow each other anyways. Yeah. So if your goal is to grow the network, you're going to get more followers anyways, right alongside it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if it's the right network, then they're the right kind of followers as well.
Absolutely.
Mary, I'm so glad you're able to make it on. Look, are you in heaven? Just so you know, you're muted. You want to say hi to everyone? You want me to unmute you? I probably can. Here you go. Oh, go for it, Mary.
So, good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there.
Where are you at? What do you do?
I help professionals in career transition. So we primarily deal with directors, VPs, and C-level folks. And interestingly enough, over 80% of our clients already have a good job, but they're looking for a better job.
Yeah.
And so we help them because today's job search is not like it used to be. And at least that's what people like Alfred come to believe, because he's one of our clients.
Awesome.
Yeah, I invited Mary. Hey, real quick, Mike, Mary is someone you need to know. So when you guys have a chance to connect, you two connect. So Mary, get to know Mike, Mike, get to know Mary. You two will be a valuable connection.
Okay.
Mary, where are you at? Where are you located?
In heaven. No, San Diego.
She's in the cloud.
www.heaven.com. Yeah, got it.
So, Mary, you missed out. We were talking about virtual background. So Mary is a good example of Zoom virtual background.
This is my green screen, guys.
Whoa, that's so cool.
Very
fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazon.com, and this is a collapsible green screen. So it, if you remember the window screens you used to put up in your windshield, to keep the sun out, and it would just collapse on a wire. It's like that.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Is it 3 hoops and it's really hard to collapse?
You know what? I can't collapse it because it springs back up and hits me. So my husband collapses it for me.
Yes.
Nice.
I have one tucked away. I could never get it. I'm never going to uncollapse it again because I could never get it back. It was so hard.
You can Google videos on how to collapse them and find a video that you like, and then supposedly that works. But I have a helpful husband, so he does it for me.
So Mary, are you doing? What does that look like for you on LinkedIn? Like, are you doing profile stuff? Are you helping people find the jobs, working with recruiters? What does that look like?
So what we do is we use Profinder, and people go on to LinkedIn, and choose Profinder to help them find a professional if they need assistance. So you could go onto Profinder and find an accountant or find somebody to help with marketing. In our case, it's people that are looking for a resume writer or a LinkedIn profile writer, or career coach, or perhaps an interview coach. So interestingly enough, I've never really been in a situation before where I had leads coming to me saying, sell me something, sell me something.
Yeah.
And you'd think my close rate would be better, given that they're primed to buy when they show up.
Yeah, and so Profinder, I'm sharing my screen. Can you all see that? For those of you who aren't familiar with what Mary's talking about, that's Profinder. It's not very well publicized on LinkedIn, so I just wanted to throw it up on the screen there so that everyone can see what she's talking about. Is anybody, like I do, Profinder's not really my wheelhouse. Like we use it a little bit, but it's not like my specialty. So Mary, I said this to Mary, not putting you on the spotlight here, but if you want to maybe next week or some other time share some insights with the group on Profinder best practices, I think that'd be so awesome. I would so love that. No pressure. You don't have to.
I'd be more than happy to share what we're doing, and I'd appreciate anybody's and everybody's feedback on how we could optimize what we're doing. So
yeah, for sure. So you're relying on Profinder for inbound requests.
That's correct.
And are you? So I actually just 2 days ago I recorded several videos on Profinder. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, Mary. And I don't want to steal any thunder from the other time, so I don't want to go too deep into it. Plus it's almost 10:30. So, but the lead quality for Profinder, are you finding that you might submit a proposal, but the response rate is like lower than what you'd expect?
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So my response rate is 11%.
Yeah.
And I screen the Profinder leads pretty heavily.
Yeah.
We are not particularly a good fit for people that are transitioning out of the military. We're not particularly a good fit for people transitioning out of college. And so, or for baristas. And that part of that is the price point of our services. So we screen pretty heavily and only send what Profinder calls a proposal, which is really just a brief introduction to your services. And
so this is what we're talking about right here.
yes.
So someone would go, I'm looking for resume writing, and then Mary would get their request and she would screen them, and then she would reply, and then it could turn into a gig for her.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, Isaac, go to your profile page. Do you mind?
This one here?
Yeah. And then to find Profinder real quickly, it's over, I don't know. It's on my page on my right-hand side. There's a little drop-down box, and then it lists a few different, things to the right-hand side, and Profinder is like a little icon. I forget what the icon looks like. What does the icon look like, Mary, on the right-hand side of someone's homepage?
Right. So I believe that there's a small checkerboard on the right-hand side of the profile. And if you click on the checkerboard, you can.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's right there on everybody's profile page. There we go. And Profinder's right there. So groups, learning, everything, and you just go to Profinder and boom.
Right.
There it is. Huh. Yeah, so it's on your homepage.
Yes, the first time that I applied to be Profinder, I got rejected. Mm-hmm. So if you're not a Profinder and you decide you want to be a Profinder, just so you know, someone's mowing the lawn right now outside. So if you see me distracted, that's what's going on. But they're looking for, Mary, actually, I can do a cliffhanger. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay, cliffhanger.
What they really are looking for is to make sure that you are a subject matter expert.
Yeah, exactly.
So for instance, I could say, well, I want to give financial advice via Profinder. Well, I don't have any qualifications or certifications or experience providing financial advice. So you make an application to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn reviews your profile and basically vets your application. And so if you they'll look at things like recommendations. Has Mary ever been recommended for resume writing? Has she ever been recommended for career coaching? And then based on their estimation of your qualifications, they'll either accept you or not accept you. You can appeal. So if they don't accept you the first time, you can go back and tweak things and then ask them to reconsider. Yep.
Yeah, they're looking for, they told me when they rejected me after I cried a little bit, they told me, because I was like, are you serious? Like, I've been doing this forever. But for me, it was not enough recommendations specifically related to the Profinder service. So they're looking for articles, they're looking for relevant content, they're looking for recommendations. I think the big ones, I mean, if your profile says what you do, I think the big things that they're looking for are recommendations and articles. I think that's about it. Those are the two big.
Do you think a person actually does this, or it's done by an algorithm?
It's definitely a person. Yeah. Yeah, because the person told me what was missing on my profile.
Sorry, I was completely frozen. Is there a question in there?
Oh, yeah. Mary Mike was asking if we think it's an actual person that reads it. And I said, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I understand it's a team of people in Nebraska. It's the same team of people who vet the Profinder requests. So I think that they're actually checking, well, I know that they're checking for things like inappropriate requests or
sure,
belligerent messages and that kind of thing. So it's actually a team of people that are going through these requests.
And here's kind of what it looks like a little bit. These are some of the requests that I've gotten. Oh, so the request that I get because of the industry that I've chosen is more marketing focused, even though we are just in more of a niche. So a lot of these are like social media stuff, lead gen stuff. We're finding that they're usually really small jobs. It's like solopreneurs who want to explore something other than Upwork or Fiverr, or a smaller company that's looking for just like a freelancer, but they're kind of just shopping around. And so what I've told my clients is it's worth having those hooks in the line, but it's probably not going to be a huge revenue stream. It's more of like an entry-level service to start a relationship with a client for larger projects later. That's what it seems like. Okay. What do you think, Mary?
I certainly think that depending on what kind of leads you're trying to get out of Profinder, it's going to vary significantly. So for instance, I don't think that Profinder today works very well on a business-to-business level. We're really business to consumer.
Sure.
And so that's, so if you're looking for, if you're a financial advisor, or if you do tax accounting and you serve individuals, or then Profinder is a good place to be.
That's really interesting. So I hadn't thought of this before, but so LinkedIn historically has been a B2B focus. And I could see LinkedIn saying, let's open the B2C market through Profinder and then just be a lead source for those kinds of companies. Like a lot of these are B2B services, but I could see like a roofing company, like, it'd be really cool if they could do like a quote request out, and then I'm sure they would make it a paid service, but I wonder if they'll move that way.
I believe that they will.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, all the business owners are there. Why wouldn't you monetize your audience?
Mm-hmm.
That page there is as much B2C as it is B2B right there on that page.
Yeah, that's true. Wedding photography.
Pet photography. I mean, unless your business is pets.
I think it's well distributed.
I think so too.
We all want there to be a category that's not there. I've been on it for a while too. I didn't get rejected, but I waited. Okay, you were earlier than I was, so you guys went first and took the arrows in the chest, and I waited. The things that come to me on this are just never focused on what I want or what I do really. someone wants a strategy for their executive team to do some wild thing. And I just do LinkedIn stuff. And I haven't had one yet match, although I did have one career person kind of come along who was looking for something new, and I offered him 30 minutes of time and talked to him as a donation. But that's all I have to offer.
Yeah, there's definitely money to be made there.
I mean, couldn't you use that to then pass it off to other people that you know who do the other things that you were talking about as a way
You don't know who
to-
these people are. They don't tell you who they are. I grab the description underneath their name and then search on it on LinkedIn, and I can find out who they are.
Yes, I do the same thing. I'll go and I'll find the company. Mary, do you do this?
Yes.
Find the company and then creep around and try to find the person to match the headshot, and then send them a message in addition to the Profinder reply.
And variations on that, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Sorry. Okay, now
Feels a little sneaky. You know,
I want to give Mary. I'm going to stop sharing because I don't want to spoil all of Mary's fun for when she wants to share later. So,
question for you, Mike, real quick. I've been kind of chomping at the bit. So what I heard Isaac say is 2 criteria: personal references and content, like blogs or articles. As far as, because I'm going to do this like today, but I just want to make sure. I'm big on. I have tons of those personal recommendations, all handwritten out. I have over like 80 of them.
on LinkedIn,
I'm sure that's helpful, aren't you? I'm sure that's helpful. I think they look at job titles, the industry you're in, other stuff too.
Hang on, buddy. But I only have like 1 or 2 posts.
Right, so minimum 3 articles.
Oh, I could do that while we're talking.
there you go. Another another line in the water, Bruce. Another line in the water. Cool. Jared, you should put that in there too.
Yeah, I was just beginning to finally understand what it was all about. So I would put myself out there, and people are able to search for my services that way. Is basically what it would be doing for me.
Yeah, someone's looking for. So the difference with Profinder is that people are more bottom of funnel. They're actually doing the search. If you're just growing your network and dialoguing with people, you don't know where they're at in their sales cycle, so you have to ask and figure it out and categorize and track it. But if they're doing a search, it shows their intent, and you know that they're more bottom of funnel. They're looking for what you're doing, so it just saves time. So for you, when you go in, you're going to choose. I think the main industry is photography, even though you're doing video. Video is a subcategory of photography, just so you know. So go in there and do what you got to do, and shoot me a text if you want any help with that later.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Have they,
Jared,
have they added more categories and stuff? I mean, I haven't looked in a year, so maybe there's a bunch of stuff I hadn't even thought of. Mary, do you know?
Yeah, yes, they have added a lot of new categories. It used to be fairly skeletal, and they've fleshed it out quite a bit.
That's awesome. Mary, do you know I'm going to share my screen again real quick here, because this is one question that I had that I just wasn't quite able to figure out. 1 second. All right, Bruce, I'm on your profile because I was just looking at it. You'd want to add some articles. So you've got some activity, which is cool. You've got a lot of recommendations, but read a couple articles. Okay, so when I go, Mary, you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay. Got to move this guy over here. When I do all filters and I go to services, do you know if that is, that's not related to Profinder, is it?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so. I was just curious, because if I go here to my profile, there's these services, and I just wasn't sure if that was tied into Profinder at all.
No. So Profinder will allow you to select up to 3 services that you offer.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just say that you have 5 services, that you're going to have to pick 3. because Profinder doesn't recognize services beyond the 3 that it's certified you for, if you will.
Forgot my password.
That embarrassing.
I rely too heavily on keychain. Gotcha. So Jared, you might want to do those 2 things, Profinder and add these services, providing services. Man, is that, do you see that in yours? I forget if this is, I don't think you need to have paid for this. Do you guys have this on your profile?
I don't think I have that on my profile.
Providing services. Tony, do you have a free or paid account?
I have a free account.
I wonder if that's what the deal is there. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? Jared, do you know?
Allow me to say a little bit about it. Like I got a friend who is not having a paid account, but he's already having this providing services feature on his profile. But for me, like I only can show whether I'm open to job or not, but I'm not able to actually show it. So I don't know.
I think it's rolling out. I think it's still rolling out. I don't think it's to everybody yet. This is one of those things like the featured section that everybody will get that's rolling out. I really believe that.
Yeah, mine says open to job opportunities. And then under open to job opportunities, I get 5 selections.
Same here. Same for me as well.
Yeah. And
okay, cool.
Key, you need to make sure that you have open to all LinkedIn members. So like Isaac, you say public. Some say LinkedIn members only or open to all. And to broaden your reach, you need to see the little eyeball down there at the bottom, Isaac. You need to make sure you go into your settings and make it LinkedIn only, public. And then based on that, allows who can see it, if it can be seen outside of LinkedIn, out on the web, whatever. So
would you like to receive free business inquiries? Oh, it's related to open profile. So maybe you have to have open profile turned on for that, because when I did, let's see here, allow, save, hang on. Oh, that's just for open profile.
There's a drop down there with the triangle. Why don't you see what the options are by public there? Instead of just clicking on the word public, see what the options are underneath it.
There are no options now.
The triangle doesn't do anything?
No. So this is related to open profile. So for everyone that doesn't know what open profile is, open profile, if you have a paid account, you can allow anybody to send you a message for free, which is like they're sending a free in-mail. So this is, would you like to receive free business inquiries? So, and if I go to learn more, it's my open profile settings. So I wonder if you need to have open profile turned on for this. I'm curious. I am super curious. Should I turn, I don't know. I don't want to, I'll learn on my own time and then share what I discover later.
I think you can have 5 as well, by the way. It used to be 3. I think it's 5 now.
actually it says 7.
It's 7 now. Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm 7 now. It used to be smaller. It was a smaller number.
Well, I just checked it today. Like I got 5 only. So maybe it's for paid profiles for 7. Like.
Interesting. That's really interesting. So where that helps is when you go okay. So this is like, I see LinkedIn progressively moving beyond just a social networking type thing and more being a business services provider. I mean, in the last 2 years, they've added like this is really new and it's a big deal. If this is gone, search is exclusively looking for people and companies. There's no business services search ever before. And now you have this, which is a total different search intent. Mm-hmm. And so I think that moving forward, the LinkedIn users it's becoming normal for them to expect to use LinkedIn to find business services.
I think you should explore the possibilities there and let us know what the best practices are with that services section. I'm with you. I think there's a lot of things that could happen there. more in the future than now, perhaps, but you're the right
Yeah.
guy to hammer that down and show us what's up with that. There's something to be had there.
Yeah, I think that. Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think that LinkedIn is trying to position itself or position its members as being trusted advisors.
Yeah,
So it's
I
that
agree.
whole, you're in our camp, and so therefore you're a trusted advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
everyone can be trusted. Not everyone.
You know, a great thing about LinkedIn, they have LinkedIn Learning. And LinkedIn Learning, when you complete a course, you get educational credit. So LinkedIn is trying to be that resource that, you know, like, and trust. And like Mike was saying last week, is people do business with who they
These
know,
guys.
like, and trust. And with LinkedIn, you can do a 30-minute or an hour or 2 hours on a particular topic. What's great is you go down to the bottom of your profile and it says you have 50 different things that you're good at. So you can click at something that you're good at, take a course, then LinkedIn certifies you and verifies that you are qualified at something that you said you're good at, and then you get continuing education credit. And then you get a certificate. And so you can download the certificate. The certificate's on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is definitely becoming something that people see as a trusting site of professionals. So I love LinkedIn Learning. I don't use YouTube. I don't use TED Talks anymore because I don't get credit.
You can give yourself credit.
LinkedIn Learning.
Well,
But
can I?
Well,
Hey,
what
Alfred,
about,
watch
so are
this.
they
Hang on.
competing directly with lynda.com then?
who?
I think that.
They own
Lynda.com?
lynda.com, don't they?
Yeah, they
Lincoln
bought
by
Linda.
Oh, I did. You know what? That makes sense because I remember now I have to log in with my LinkedIn, and that makes sense. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, Alfred, what you can do, or everybody, so don't abuse this.
Uh-oh.
but
It is
so
being
like
recorded.
you can let's see, but I can edit it later. Okay, I'm just gonna move this. So if I go and I click,
Powerful Oz.
if I click this guy here, oh, give it a minute. It's gonna be slow because so I just take a screenshot of my SSI, right? And then I added it though under LinkedIn. So you can name it whatever you want. You can select the issuing organization, and then you can give the URL so that when they click it, they see it. But that's just uploaded to my website.
Oh,
And so I feel like that's really ripe for being abused. That's actually a LinkedIn screenshot though, so I'm okay with it. But just so you know, you can do that. There's a company named Credly that was at an executive education conference that I went to in Houston, and it's becoming common for universities, and I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft leaned this way with LinkedIn, is the certifications and licenses being issued and then verified by blockchain. So it's like you receive the verified license or certification, and then it gets added here. And if you update your certification at the source, and it'll automatically update here. And then it just becomes more trustworthy because you can't do what I just showed you and do whatever you want. So for recruiters,
but if you go down, Isaac,
Yep.
scroll down, and when it comes to skills and endorsements, and then show more, and it lists your skills, and then if you click onto one of your skills, you can take a class, and then LinkedIn will then verify that you're actually skilled at something.
Oh.
Yeah, so instead of you getting an endorsement from somebody, LinkedIn endorses you, and they have verification that you have a certificate based on how many hours, and you get so many credits.
Really? So you're not talking about the skill quiz here, because that's something totally different.
No, skill quiz is actually built into LinkedIn Learning. So you take LinkedIn Learning, and at certain modules, you have to take the skill test. And then based on you passing the skill test, then it's a whole, I don't want to, I'm keeping my mouth shut because I don't want to be the next.
There's a future
I'm
topic.
not raising my hand to teach.
And a future presenter. A future presenter
Great.
topic.
And Mary's already on the hot seat. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm hitting mute.
Alfred, so how do I get there from here? Do I click the skill? Is
Sorry, the
there a
Chinese government is blocking our conversation now.
but how do I get to should I search within learning, or can I get there from the skills in my profile?
I can go with the skills on my profile, or I also go into learning.
So would I just click the skill here?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not-
what I see. You may be different than I am because I'm looking for a job, or, I'm using it to look for a job. And maybe my profile is set up different than yours. So you can go into LinkedIn Learning and type in a skill set that you're looking for, and then watch the video and it will apply it to your skill set.
I'm gonna dig into that, because all that I've personally seen.
So for example,
transition.
go into learning and then
Okay.
type in working at home. And I just finished an hour module about how to effectively work at home.
Here, I'm gonna
And then it posted, and I don't have working at home as a skill set. So it tells me, you don't have this as a skill set. Would you like us to add it? And then
is it
will
this?
add it.
Okay, so I'm looking at your profile. Can you show me where?
I think you need to hit show more, Isaac.
Yeah, show more. And then here I have pitching myself. It says working remotely. So there's my accreditation. It tells you who I took it from. And then you can also take this. Also, when it comes to employer branding. So here are the different things that are actually certified by LinkedIn. And this is great. This person, how he talks, and it's very real life. And so if you have a chance if you want to learn about, working at home, working remotely, watch his 1 hour video.
That's cool.
I liked
Look at
it so much that I actually reposted it on my site, and I connected with him, and I actually added followers because of reposting him. And the other person is, I don't know. So you guys do, but LinkedIn Learning's great. It's better than I moved from Netflix to LinkedIn Learning.
I think that
Wow.
if you do not have a paid account, I believe you have fewer learning resources as well.
Probably.
So if I'm remembering that right, so if you go here and you have a free account and you're not seeing as much, that could be the deal there, just so you know.
Yeah, and every month they are adding new courses on the free account to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
And to be really sleazy, sorry, but I'm going to talk about sleaziness. Cornell University is doing an MBA class. I can pay $35,000 to get certified through Cornell, or I can look at their syllabus and then do my own research of what they're teaching and use LinkedIn Learning to build my own skill course. And it may not be from Cornell, but I'm using experts on LinkedIn, and some of their experts are Cornell professors. And so I'm building my own MBA program based on the syllabus that Cornell is doing. And instead of $53,000 a year, I'm paying LinkedIn $35 a month.
Yeah.
So please edit the sleaziness, Isaac.
I'll see what I can do. I mean, it's not what you're describing though is not uncommon. What you're describing has become commonplace, and the university system is feeling that disruption, and they're having to be nimble, and it's changing their whole business model and their cost infrastructure for their buildings, which is why they're wanting to push for that digital credit that's verified by blockchain, because what people are paying for is the credit from the university, and the university needs to keep its reputation as this is worth the $50,000. And if they can't combat that, then they're in big trouble because of the glut of free information that's out there.
Right.
It's just, there's no way around it. Learning's changing. It's not sleazy. It's not sleazy at all. It's normal. It's a really big topic in higher learning right now, which I'm sure you're aware of. And I don't feel bad. Groovy. Good stuff. So really quick, since we kind of went on a bunny trail there. Jared, it was a great bunny trail. So Jared, so if you go down here, are you still on, Colson?
Yep.
I'll check and see if I can if this is related to. I'll check and see if I can figure out if this is something that you need to have open profile to turn on or off, or if it's just being rolled out and if it's sporadic or not, because I'm not sure. But you'd want to turn this on also just for another line in the water.
Yeah, and that was just under the Profinder, or under the.
This one's separate from Profinder. So this one's separate from Profinder. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you could enable this on your account. But here, I'll show you what it looks like as a searcher. So let's say I'm looking for, let's see, is video editing, right? And then let's do Springfield an option. Springfield, Missouri. Let's do another video production. Geography. You know any of those guys? Josiah, David, Haley?
Yeah. I need to check some of those things
You're like,
off.
oh, dang it.
Yeah, no, it's not really
like, I hate those guys.
No. I did have a question, Mary, on Profinder. You said 3 articles. What about how many recommendations do you need for that?
I think you said, I don't know what the number is, but I think you probably need at least 5.
Okay. Good. I'll start with that.
Yeah, and I think that mine passed with 3, but that was also a couple years ago. I'm not sure what their criteria are, but what you could do, Jared, if it's because recommendations can be tough to get. You got to ask people, and then people drag their feet. I'll give you a recommendation, but if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm at 4 and I can't get that 5th, and it's an urgency thing, you can always apply, and if you get rejected, just get another one and do an appeal too.
Sure.
So remember, there are 2 different things. You have recommendations where people actually type a recommendation, and then you have people that just kind of click
skill endorsement.
An endorsement. So Mary, are you talking about recommendations or endorsements?
Recommendations.
These guys right here.
All right. So endorsements, it doesn't matter.
I don't believe it matters.
Okay.
I don't think that I have ever cared about the number next to this skill here.
Me neither.
But recruiter, I think that was more for recruiters. And I think since that people just can buy skill endorsements and people do it and they don't know you, I think that's why they introduced the skill quiz to make it more trustworthy. Have you ever looked at the requirements on skill quiz? Like if you pass, you get a thing. If you fail, it doesn't say you failed, but you get like 1 shot 3 months later. It's pretty serious. If you read through it, I wonder if there's a, let's see, learn more. This is probably another fun topic. Let's see. This is still being rolled out too. It says we're currently testing and evaluating skills. I get a ton of organic search traffic from an article we have on our site from Skill. And one of the most searched for things is skill quiz answers. Oh, let's see here. So there's if you fail, where does it say if you fail? It doesn't say on this one. Anyways, if you fail, it's more of a big deal. So,
well, under LinkedIn Learning, they have skill tests after each module, and if you fail the test, then it tells you to watch the video again and watch the video again until you pass. And it never tells anybody how many times you failed. Until you pass, it just shows you pass, and it keeps telling you what you need to study to pass.
That's
so
cool.
You have endless possibilities to pass, at least under LinkedIn Learning.
So you like a driver's test. You can take a test as many times as you want. The only thing that matters is you passed it once and you go through the door.
Yeah, and they don't tell you what your score is either. So that's another, maybe a bad thing about LinkedIn Learning. So.
Well, I mean, it's a pass or fail, so to me that makes, I'm more concerned about the fact that the person actually knows it. I don't care if they know it at a B level or an A level, so long as they know it enough to pass.
So this here says if you score in the 70th percentile or above, you receive a passing badge.
Good enough
Also
for me.
keep in mind that percentile is not the same thing as 70%. So 70th percentile is not 70%.
You have to get 70 on a driver's test too, by the way. I know because I got 67 my first time.
Well, I'm glad you're driving not in Kansas City, Mike.
Hey, does anybody want to know how to get more personal endorsements where people handwrite them to you?
Yeah, please share.
Yeah, sure.
It's very easy, and you're going to say, Captain Obvious.
You ask?
So you, first of all, you start with your low-hanging fruit. You call up, literally, you know, hello. Hey, George. Hey, Mike, it's Bruce. What's up, buddy? And you say,
oh, it's hanging, man.
I'll write you one if you write me one. And so that's the easy way to do it. The second way, second tier, besides low-hanging fruit, is to send the same thing in a personalized email. Maybe not the mics of your beloved friends, but maybe the next tier down. Same thing. I'll send you one if you write me one. You can have 100 tomorrow, or you may have to follow up. Hey, George, I sent mine, but you didn't send yours. Go for it.
Oh, Jared. Here, let me do something.
Actually,
here.
Mary, do you want to talk about this for a minute? Because there's kind of a strategy when it comes to how many recommendations you should have posted at one time and how you should spread them out so it doesn't look like. Do you want to talk about that?
You're doing fine, Alfred.
No. I talk too much on this.
I do think that you want to make sure that you have recommendations from this century. So people's recommendations age quite a bit. If you have a recommendation that's older, you can go back and ask that person to refresh the recommendation so it would have today's date. Maybe they'd add some current information to it. And you also want to make sure that not everything has today's date on it. So having the recommendations spread out over time and up to being current is most effective.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And if this is a little bit contextual, but if you are getting recommendations, Jared, specifically for Profinder, it's important that the recommendations text matches what your service request is for, right? So you want to lead you want to help people figure out what to write. Because if you just go, hey, would you give me a recommendation? They're going to be like, oh, what should I say? And they might be like, I like this guy. He's so fun to hang out with. He's trustworthy and honest and blah, blah. And it has nothing to do with you doing video.
Yeah.
So it helps if you can lead it. Hey, so it's kind of like when you want to get a review for your business, like lead the conversation because people have a hard time figuring out what to write. Give them ideas, plant the ideas in their mind by saying, hey, would you give me a recommendation on the video editing or the X, Y, and Z that I did for you guys? I'd be so grateful. And then it's easier for them. And then the end result is you have a recommendation that's relevant to your Profinder request service for your service there. Cool?
And
Cool,
the last thing about that, Isaac, what's great is you approve it. People
exactly.
post on your page and you're like,
yes.
Shit, why is this on there? And how do I take it off? And it's like it's Yelp. Someone yelps something about you that may not be true and it's there for life. And
yes, that's so true.
You approve what people say and then you post it. And if you don't like what they say, don't post it.
And you can now toggle those on and off here too. And then you look at that.
Wow.
I've had people have terrible spelling and grammar and just ugly things. And I ask for a revision, just like what you saw there. It didn't used to be a little button like that. It used to be harder. But it makes them look really stupid too.
About spelling and grammar, do you want to pitch a particular website that you turned me on to when it comes to spelling and grammar?
Sure. So Grammarly.com.
The best.
Yeah, Grammarly's good.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, that's-
unbelievable.
How do you spell Grammarly?
I think it's $10 a month. Pay for it. Believe
Yeah.
me, it's. All right, never mind. I'm muting myself.
There, you have to get an affiliate link or something. What's up, Bruce?
Do I maybe have a free version of Grammarly? I
There
wasn't
is a
aware
free
that
version.
I paid for it.
There is.
Yeah, but $15 is worth the $15 a month.
So I'm only beating a dead horse. So Alfred, Mary, when you do get, so the goal is to get the personal recommendations today, right? But you don't post them today. You drip them in over time.
Oh, because you can approve them whenever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very clever, Bruce.
Really good idea, Bruce.
If
Yep.
you look at mine, I'm only a test case of n equals 1. And I, as Isaac and Mike know, inherently, I am not LinkedIn. That's why I'm here, is to get saturated in all this talk. If you look at mine, it looks like, wow, he did this over a 10-year period. Dude, wow. No, all I did was I dripped them in, as I was boosting my LinkedIn exposure. I would drip in another recommendation.
Very cool. Good insight, Bruce. That's a great tip. Thank you. Well, it's 5 past the hour, so I want to get back to making money. I've got a company to run. So next week we'll do the sheet if we have time, and I'll kind of give you a preview of what I'm talking about here. Oh.
Sure.
One more thing.
Isaac, if you don't mind, just one last question.
Yeah.
If you have some time. Okay. So yesterday I actually applied for a LinkedIn Live feature. Okay. So now they are just previewing my profile. So maybe they will then they will approve it. Well, what if I'm since my profile is pretty new and there is not much follower, I'm just lately I have been active on LinkedIn, so I'm a little bit in between, whether they're gonna accept me or not. So what if I get rejected? If they reject me, so is there anything you recommend that I can do and apply later? So I really love this feature, and I believe that I can utilize the feature in a good way. So what do you think? Have you got some recommendations? So I'm just afraid if they reject at first.
I think you can always reapply. So I'm not really familiar with using LinkedIn Live. It's kind of annoying for me. One of the rules of LinkedIn Live is you're not supposed to talk about LinkedIn on LinkedIn Live. You're not supposed to use LinkedIn Live to talk about LinkedIn. It's in the agreement. And so I'm like, they're going to look at my profile. They're going to see that's all I'm going to talk about. So I guess we'll use So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. But my just advice that I'm just totally pulling out of thin air would be apply. And if you don't hear back or you're rejected, just apply again, dude.
Hey, Isaac,
Sure.
idea. I think this would be a great topic, because more and more people are using LinkedIn Live.
Yeah.
And some LinkedIn Lives are crickets, and people are just sitting in front of the screen, staring at a blank screen, waiting for someone to connect and watch. So I think this would actually be a great topic, because more and more people are using LinkedIn Live.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have Mary on. So do you guys know who Mary Brandt is? Mary Brandt, she does LinkedIn Bakery. I was on her LinkedIn Live show. Super nice gal. She's in California.
What's her name again?
Mary Brandt. Brandt, I believe. Mary Brandt. Mary Fane Brandt. Yeah, she's so sweet. But maybe I'll have her come on here and share some stuff, because LinkedIn Live does have a bunch of weird nuances. You have to have a third-party software to be able to use it and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a good idea to bring her on. Cool. Oh, all right. I'll leave you with this, because hopefully we'll get to it next week. This is just an Excel. It's tax day too, so woohoo! Let's do an Excel sheet. Do you guys see the Excel sheet? right?
They push that day out 2 months, and yes, I do tons of spreadsheets.
Nice. So basically, if you have a list size and you've been measuring your KPIs and you know what your sale value is and your acquisition rate, you can look at a list count and then just work backwards and see what your total estimated sales are from that list size. Ding, 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 ding. See you next week.
Hey guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks for your time, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Later.